Hey, how we doing, boys and girls? Welcome back to some more Grey Zone Warfare. Today we have some more secrets you need to know for Grey Zone Warfare. This is episode 2, and episode 1 done really well, and you guys seem to love the tips, so we're going to add some more for a new video here. Again, we're going to go through quite a few. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. Some are more simple, some are more complex. And this is things I've learned when playing, or I've read comments of people asking me questions about certain things I've been doing. And so I'm just going to cover them here. If you have any more tips you haven't seen in the previous videos, so that this one or my previous one, and you think it may help some people, comment down below and let them know and share the love. Anyway, guys, let's get straight into the tips. Did you know that you can change the red dot on certain scopes? I'll show you a few which you can change the red dot on in a minute. But if you look at here, the red dot on this is quite small and I don't really like it too much. So if I want to be more accurate or have a better red dot, one aim down sight, if I hold Alt, which is normally hold breath, and then scroll up or down, you can change between red dots. Now we've got a nice little, this is the one I prefer to use for my red dots. I can align the headshot or the head or the body in between the middle here, which is really nice. Now only a few of them do this. So if I bring up a few here, you have the P-Lard. We also have the EKP. These ones, for sure, you can change this. If you can't change it, then it's most probably not supported with that red dot sight, but it's just something you may not know. Did you know that you can animation cancel pretty much any animation in the game, from bandages to reloading to inspecting your gun? So, example, if I press Alt and V, this is how long the inspection takes to tell us what we want to know. Most of the time when I'm inspecting this, it's just to find out maybe the ammo type. If I press V, for example, it tells me what type of ammo is in this gun, M855. If I want to say just cancel the animation, so if I press V and then press right click, so right click on your mouse, so V, right click, cancels it, but it still tells me the information above, which is M855, which is a lot faster if you just really need to check something like your magazine, how much bullets are in your magazine. If I'm in a fight, for example, here, and I'm shooting a load of bullets, and I haven't got really time to reload, I can quickly press V, right click, and I'm ready to shoot, but I get the notification to find out how much bullets are in my magazine while I'm doing so. Instead of pressing V, waiting behind cover like so, I can kind of just press V, right click, and I'm already shooting and seeing what I've got in there. So I know how much bullets I have in a magazine. This also works for healing. So for example, the CT, we've got 3 uses on this CT at the minute, right? If I go to and start the healing process, if I right click, I cancelled it. It still haven't used the actual CT up. I can still fight, and it can work really well in your favor. Say maybe you get around a corner, you think, oh, quickly I'll heal up, but then someone's pushing you, you can then right click and then still shoot and take out the enemy if they are pushing you. This can also work when it comes to baiting. There's certain things, for example, like the circuit and certain things which actually make more noise when you're healing. So for example, maybe you're in a fight with PvP, maybe someone is holding an angle here, right? They don't want to push, they're scared, right? And you're holding an angle and you know whoever's going to peek is going to die, right? You could start your circuit going like this, make that kind of distinct noise. He thinks you're healing, but then you hold the angle and he pushes and you shoot them. This is something we used to do in Tarkov quite a bit. You used to bait people into thinking that you're healing, but you're not. And if they do use sound to their advantage, that can actually really work well in your favor. Did you know that you can look around when you're walking? So from running like so, or walking, and at the minute you kind of have to just use your mouse to look around, which can be a bit annoying, especially if you're trying to run. It slows you down, slows your run down. But did you know you can actually just hold down the middle mouse button and then move left and right, look to the left, look to the right, while I'm moving left and right. This can actually be really handy in a few situations. One, you may try and figure out that, I don't know, you're fighting some AI and you hear him to the left, and you don't want to just kind of peek like so and see if you can find them anywhere, and then end up getting blasted because you're going really slow. Maybe they're kind of in the bushes or something. Instead, what you could do is maybe you see some other cover here, but you want to check here, is you can kind of run like so, look like that, and then kind of keep running to the cover, right? So you can kind of go back. Maybe we want to run over here. We don't need to now look this way. We can now look, we can check while we're running, and we're going to be a harder target to shoot. This is also going to work really well in more kind of close range situations. Again, this is Escape from Tarkov. I used to do this. Maybe we're fighting in PvP or PvE. Maybe there's some AI here, right? And you don't know whereabouts they are. Maybe they're holding an angle here, or maybe they're holding an angle here. And instead of just kind of checking and getting shot, because anyone holding an angle might be able to just kill you when you check like this. Instead of trying to do that, you can kind of just go like this. Have a quick, real fast look over and see where they are, and then as soon as you see them you can check, and then you can come back around and then just instantly start shooting, so you know exactly where they are. It can really help you in certain situations, and I would definitely highly advise getting used to using the middle mouse button to checking your corners and around you when you're moving about. Did you know that the textures option has changed in the graphics settings, and this may help with crashes if you don't know what you should be setting your textures settings to? You press escape and go over to your graphics settings and scroll down. I currently have mine on medium because that's what I like it at, but if you're having crashes, or maybe you think you may even be able to go higher, you could go to auto, and what this will do is it will change the texture resolution on the fly. At least from what I can see, it will just pick what is best determined for your GPU. What I did notice is sometimes the textures would lower depending on where I was. For example, if I'm in a normal POI, which isn't too taxing, there's not as many AI about, for example, and things like that, I noticed it kind of kept, you know, around the same texture, which is around medium for me, which is using around 10 gigs of VRAM. If I had it on also, I noticed when I went over to somewhere like Tiger Bay, I actually it actually lowered it and went down to around, I think it was like 8.5 to like 9 gigs of VRAM instead. And so it kind of lowered the texture resolution because of the situation I was in. So something to maybe just try if you're having crashes, things like that. Try lowering or putting your texture resolution to auto. It may be able to help you out. Did you know since patch 1 you can now change your keybinds? Push to talk, for example, I have now put onto left control. You can change this wherever you like, but I would definitely advise having this to somewhere where you can easily click it while you're in the action and in fights. Something you can just reach over and click. Maybe you need to talk to someone or you need assistance. Especially in PvP, you want to be always shouting friendly when you're coming up to someone you know is a friendly, so they don't get gun-ho and shoot you. So things like that are going to be really clutch, and so I have it on left control because I can easily reach that. Scrolling all the way down, the other ones I've changed is my mouse buttons. On one of the mouse buttons I have the map, open map, quick map and open map panel, both to the same mouse button. What happens is if I just tap it, it brings up the quick map and I can quickly check if there's a friendly in my area, especially great in PvP situations where you don't know if there's someone in the area. Maybe you hear a shot or you see someone run across your screen somewhere. You quickly check them to make sure they're friendly or not. If they're not, you can shoot them. If they are friendly, don't shoot them, right? Something a lot of people definitely don't do is check their map in PvP. They're a bit gun-ho, they end up shooting first and they don't check the actual map. The other one I have keybind is the gear. This is at the bottom here. Open gear panel is the other mouse button. If you press tab, it brings up the panel you basically were on before. So if I go to tasks and I press tab, it goes back to tasks. Every time I press tab, it goes to tasks. If I go to vendors and I press tab, and from here it keeps going back to vendors. For example, if I go map and I press tab now, it just keeps going back to map. In the action, I may want to always access my character. Now, if I'm on map, for example, I'm in a fight and I press tab, I then have to go over to the character and then start doing what I need to do. This is why I like to have it bound. So if I change it back to map now, if I want to access my gear really fast, this is because I like to heal this way. I have my healing, for example, in the task key on the EMT. If I'm in a fight and I need to quickly get to cover, I can get to cover, press my mouse button, I can instantly get to where I need to go to heal or add bullets to my magazines, for example, drink, whatever I need to do really fast because it's now keybind to my mouse. So I can run, if I'm getting shot at, oh, I got shot, quickly go to my bag, choose what I need to choose, or I need to reload my magazines. Instead of, for example, if I was on the map, I was checking the map beforehand, I'm running, getting shot at, I'm like, oh crap, and then I gotta go to character, then I gotta go somewhere. So I quite like having the gear bound to my mouse button too. This is a preference one. This could be something different for you guys. Maybe you have the quick heal, for example. When you hold H, for example, at the minute, I can press CT or my painkillers. Maybe you wouldn't want that on your mouse button. You can choose whatever you like, but definitely bind your keys to your mouse buttons now and change your key binds about that way that you can do that. It's going to help you in those kind of clutch situations for you. Did you know about the Discord Grey Zone Warfare trading post? This is a really awesome Discord. I've mentioned this before on how to get keys easily in a previous video, but I wanted to mention it again in the Did You Knows just in case you missed this, because it's a very handy Discord. Not only is this a trading post where you can also trade keys, trade other gear, it's also got a Sherpa system here, and you can kind of also team up. I have seen people also team up in here. There's a lot of people here, all for the same situation, which is Grey Zone Warfare. There's now over 3,000 members in this Discord. If you want to trade keys, for example, you could go down to the trading post area. You've got Crimson, Lemang, Mithras. You just choose the faction who you are. Go to that one. For example, I have Lemang, and then there's different posts here. You can put a post up yourself, you can look at the posts, you can trade keys with people, you can ask to buy keys, ask to trade keys, whatever you're looking for, these guys may have it. There's also some really handy services, for example, where people will open the door for you. So if you're not really caring about having the actual key, but you may just want to have a door open for you, there is a service here where people will open the door. So just look about, and just when you're asking for this and or creating a post, you could put one to trade, one to buy, or even ask someone to just open the door for you for a certain mission and get teamed up and go and do that. Really awesome. I've used this quite a bit. This is actually how I got my keys for farming the Midnight Sapphire, for example. I got most of the high keys I needed from here. I also put trades up here myself now and again, and there's also a Sherpa system here for people to help you out, tasks guides and project maps, voice channels. There's a lot of things here. Definitely advise checking this. I will leave the link to this trading post in the pinned comment, so in the actual pinned comment, not in the description, but in the pinned comment. Click on that, join it, verify yourself. One of the best Discords you can be using. Did you know that you can now highlight an LZ and this will still stay like this now? Before patch 1, you would sometimes highlight an LZ and keep it there ready to kind of press call for transport, waiting for when one of the helicopters go, and it would then turn into something else like an invite or something along those lines, which was actually quite annoying. If you're trying to call in a chopper and you're hovering over call transport ready for waiting for one of the choppers to go, and you couldn't do it because it kept changing to a invite or something along those lines. It no longer does it. It can just stay as Foxtrot 1, for example. If I click on Foxtrot 1, it keeps Foxtrot 1 forever until you click off it, which is really handy. For people who don't know, also, there's 4 choppers available in the map at one time. So if you're having troubles calling in a chopper, wait for one of the 4 choppers to go off the end of the map and disappear, then click call transport on whatever LZ you got highlighted at the time you want to go to. So you have to just wait until there's one chopper leaves. You're only allowed 4 choppers at once on the map. If there's 4 there, you're not going to be able to call a chopper. You're going to get the annoying message saying, denied. So just wait for one of the choppers to go off the map, highlight over the call for transport, and just keep your mouse there. As soon as he disappears, click call transport, and there's a good chance that you may be able to then call in your plane. That'll save you spamming and checking for your helicopters to be available. Did you know that the earmuffs really lower the sound in base and on helicopters if you're trying? You can see here at the minute the helicopter's landing, we've got the earmuffs on. If I take the earmuffs off, look how loud it is now compared to it. Putting the earmuffs on is a lot nicer when you're at base. I highly advise getting these. You can find these all around the place. A lot of the AI, lower tier AI, have earmuffs on. Pick one of them up, put them in your bag, and take it over to base. It's going to save you a lot of earache when you're at base customizing things and doing things like so. Did you know also in the vendor now at Handshake since patch 1, they have now added a mask. This can be really nice, and it makes you look pretty decent. It covers up some of your face along with some of the hats here. Can really kind of help you out. So if we now go back to our character so we can inspect, and this is the only way you can inspect your character at the minute, is going back. You can see how we look here with the mask. So obviously ignore the ear muffs, but with other normal headsets on. But it's very, very nice, and this can be helpful in PvP situations. You're not going to stand out as much as if you're wearing a helmet. This goes on to the next thing we want to talk about is helmets. Helmets are currently at the minute not too useful when you're getting into more of the higher tier activities and going to the more higher tier POIs. At the starting area, they may help you, but you most probably won't have the best helmets also at the start. We've been testing this out lately, and I find I don't get headshot that much anyway. And I find I get headshotted a lot, even when I have a helmet on. If you look at the helmets, for example, this one's the best helmet you can get. 1.6 kilograms, so it's quite heavy for a helmet. In terms of, if we just look at the hat combined with the face mask, which you also could have on with the helmet, these weigh hardly anything. So in terms of weight, meaning you can run a bit more further and you can carry a bit more, these actually use up more weight. But the fact is, they're only 3A+. When you get into the higher tier and the medium tier, there's going to be bullets which will be able to penetrate that with one tap. So you end up just getting one tapped even if you wear this helmet. This is just going to cost you money, and the only reason these sometimes save you is against some of the lower tier AI. So it's up to you. I'm not saying you should not ever wear a helmet, but it's just something that you may want to know, where you can make a different decision to wear something else, which I'm wearing, for example. Did you know the grey energy drink, which you can purchase from level 2 Lab Rat, will give you not only 60 hydration, but also give you 15 on the energy side? Having just 2 of these with you can be a lifesaver in those such situations, because you not only are getting back a quick bit of hydration, a lot of hydration, but you're also getting back a little bit of energy, enough which may be able to just get you to another load of AI you can kill to get to the farm and get some more food, or you can bring along another can of food with you to then just fill yourself up completely. These are the 3 I like to bring with me. I like to bring 2 tactical greys, energy drinks, and I also like to bring a can of food, just a bit of pork, and that there will keep me going when it comes to energy and hydration. Obviously you can loot AI along the way and find that, but sometimes in a pinch you may need it, and this only uses up 3 slots. I like to keep it on my belt, and you're kind of good to go. You also know though that this here, the Grey Focus Energy, is from an awesome content creator and streamer who I like to promote because he's an awesome guy. Tacti Gamer, also called Greyman Lifestyle. As you can see here, this is his energy drink that he uses, and it is made after him. So please check him out. He's an awesome guy. And if you are looking for some type of energy drink, I have tasted the smooth lemon, and it is very good, and it definitely keeps you focused. Like, this is something I've been using. He's gave this to me for free. He even shipped it out to the UK for me on his own behalf and paid for it so I could try it. Really nice guy. So please check him out. Oh, again, we'll leave his Twitter in the pinned comment down below. Please show him support and let him know that we sent you here. Did you know in level 3 Lab Rat, I haven't got to her yet, I'm trying to get to her again to unlock these, because they are very handy in certain situations, and I do advise bringing them with you. Now when you do get to Lab Rat level 3, you'll have the stims, which you have unlock a lot more stims. This one only helps with regeneration, and that's not as good, but there's one there which will give you basically infinite stamina. They are really handy, and people kind of not use them, because the negatives for having the infinite stamina is it completely gets rid of your arm stamina drain. Your arm stamina drain just goes to 0, and you can't really aim down sight as much. But you don't use them in those situations when you're in your fight. You pop the stims for the limited stamina for times when you need to just get the hell out of there, or maybe you're doing a mission which requires you to just go somewhere and then pick something up in a place which is completely out the way. For example, you see me do a video beforehand about the solo YOLO running. I don't need to use a gun in that game. In that situation, I'm just using a knife, and I'm solo YOLO and towards a place, try and grab an objective without shooting anyone. That's something where you're using Tiger Bay. So what you can do is you can pop these stims and give you a limited stamina, so you don't even slow down. You can just keep on running, and so it kind of helps you out in that situations. It also helps in those situations where maybe you're in a PvP fight and you're cornered, there's too many people here, you know you're gonna die, you're maybe running out of health situation, maybe you got no bullets and you just need to get the hell out of there. Or maybe you know that someone's camping an LZ you're trying to get to, and you're like, dude, I just need to get out. This is where you would pop that stim, because you can then just pop it and run the other way. They're not going to be able to keep up with you, even if they are trying to follow you, because you're going to be able to just keep on running and running and running, and they won't be able to keep up with you. You can then get to another LZ, which is kind of out the way, and call that in and get home. So they are handy, and I would actually, as soon as I unlock this again, I'm going to be having one of these in my med bag, either in my TAS here or in this bag here, and have it on me in those situations. Definitely something worth just keeping. It's only one slot, and it would most probably help you save your life in some certain situation. Did you know for healing, I only like to use two things on my pockets, and that's the CT and the painkillers. Everything else is in an EMT bag in my TAS secure container. You can only use an EMT bag in the container, by the way, if you do have the TAS container, which is either obtained via completing all the missions and you unlock this as the final reward, or using the supporter edition. But the only reason I use only these two on my pockets, is they're the only two required for basically relieving you of something while you're in action, like instantly relieving you of something while in action, which is going to save your life. One of the things which will get you killed is losing blood. If you're going into a heavy bleed, which is the two little signs, the two little drips in your top left hand side, you need to make sure you fix that before you carry on engaging. So getting into cover, pressing H, getting to your hotbar, and using a CT to fix those heavy bleeds. The other one I like to use is the painkillers. What they will do for most of the time when it comes to PvP, and you'll see me pop these sometimes even before engaging into a fight, is use these painkillers. They're going to stop it so I don't make noise when I get injured, over from like a wound, a medium wound, punctures, something like that. It's going to reduce the noise I make, so I can actually hear if people maybe push me or approach me. These are the only two I need to use in the action. Everything else can wait. I can do that once I've finished with the situation at hand, and I can go to my EMT bag, surge kit, bandage some wounds, splint if I've got a fracture, you know, add some more blood back to me if I am feeling dizzy, certain things like that. I also have a spare CT kit if I need to, and spare painkillers. But in the action, when I'm fighting, the only thing which is actually going to kill me is if I lose blood, or if if they headshot me and I die straight away, right? But one of the things which will kill me straight away is if I start losing blood really, really fast. So that's why I only like to carry with me the CT and the painkillers. They're my most important ones I will need to use in a fight to help with whatever kind of situation. If not, I use the EMT bag, and then I use anything else in here if needed. You can also use bandages on things like light bleeds and wounds, but you'll also find that I don't use bandages for light bleeds. If I get hit and I see that there's only like a one drop or like a medium or light wound, I won't do anything about that. Again, I'll just pop the painkillers, and so I'm not making any noise, but I won't actually deal with that bleed because it's not going to kill me. A light bleed really isn't going to kill me, and it will hit fix over time. So just a few things you can take into account when you come to the healing. Don't worry about light bleeds and medium wounds in the kind of current situation. You can deal with it if you're no longer getting pushed or in a fight, and you may just want to stop the bleeding, but it will heal over time and just go away. You won't lose that too much blood.